What's good, everybody? It's Jack here with Mike. Back at it, talking about the Bears. Sunday was a little frustrating to watch. It was very similar to that game that Justin Fields had against the Broncos. Not similar overall, like team wise, in the sense that the Bears sort of just blew that game. They blew 21-point lead in that one. This one wasn't quite the same flow, just in the general sense of Bajent looked like a, a godsend the first 3 quarters. I know he had the one turnover early, the one interception early, but interceptions are going to happen when you're making plays, getting rid of the ball, getting it out. But then that fourth quarter came around, and good God Almighty, a nice fresh reminder of why he's held himself well and probably proven to be a have the ability to be a career long backup, but there's a reason he's wasn't a Division 1 quarterback, doesn't have the arm strength, doesn't have the talent that you need to really excel at the level, even though it does appear that he has a lot of the intangibles. So credit to him, but that was tough to watch. Tough fourth quarter. Saints shockingly started every single possession in the fourth quarter in Bears territory, and I they didn't score any points, or maybe they got the one field goal, but it was just abysmal. We had plenty of chances down the stretch, and Bajent, unfortunately, just we had the DJ Moore fumble, which killed us. Bajent threw a couple passes that some people might want to argue the receiver needs to get in there a little bit more, but they're bad passes. Guys are. It's that situation, in my opinion, where I view it as he was probably at a certain level when he played in college, above everyone, where he was probably the guy compared to everyone else that was at that level, where he probably should have been at a Division 1 school with how good he was. But he's used to being able to make those throws because the guys on the other side of the ball aren't making those plays against him. Now you get in the NFL, those windows close a lot quicker. Some of that stuff that he's seen, especially when the pressure's on and he needs to make a play, he needs to maybe force a little tighter pass in a tighter spot. It's certainly caught up with him. 5 turnovers, you're not going to win any game. Uh, so it was tough down the stretch. They were competitive. Miraculously covered the number, which was
Yeah.
nice for anyone who was on the Bears. They don't do that too often these days. The past couple of years, really worst team in the NFL, ATS. But yeah, frustrating. Another game where you felt like sort of went by the wayside, and they could have won it. They had plenty of opportunities. How you feeling after Sunday?
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know how they covered that game, man. The Bears are bad, and then on top of it, to lose the turnover margin 5-0 is the fact that they covered any spread is fucking wild. I do see some slight improvements from the defense over time. Just being honest. Um, Bajent, the first couple quarters looked great, and then it looked like the New Orleans defense made some adjustments, and that was that. It sucks to lose that game. I think the Saints are probably a better team than us at this point. The fact that we were that close with that big of a turnover deficit is pretty crazy. I'm on to the next week, man. We're not going to win too many games with Bajan as quarterback. I do think he could be a serviceable backup. Like a top tier third string, mid tier, low tier second string quarterback. I think he can be. Just for the reasons you said, he's got the intangibles, seems to have some moxie about him, but lacks some of the talent that you crave at the NFL level. Um, any other thing that's sticking out? Cole Kmet seems to be really becoming into his own. That's a positive in my mind. Darnell Mooney had a nice game, which is good. Tyler Scott might be the most worthless wide receiver outside of Velus Jones in the NFL. So we got two of those guys. That's good. Oh, Claypool too. We can throw his name in there as well. Um, Thoughts overall, I don't know, man. I'd like to see Tremaine Edmonds get back, although Jack Sanborn did fill in and played pretty nice himself. We're on to Carolina. It's a game this week that we have no incentive to lose. We own their draft pick. We beat them. We keep that draft pick closer to the first pick in the draft. So I'm looking forward to Carolina. We win that game at Carolina. We go to 3-3 in the last 6. with a close loss to the Saints and a blown lead to Denver. Um, you know, is it great? No, but I do see some things heading in the right direction. They are baby steps. I wish they were bigger steps, but I do see some things.
Yeah, the most frustrating thing for me is just like you said, I'm encouraged by the baby steps.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe whatever's less than baby steps, the baby crawls that
Yeah, like a
they're going
snail
through.
crawl. Yeah,
Yeah, but it is like they've been competitive in
yeah.
all these games, with the exception to the Packers and the
And the
Chiefs.
Chiefs, yeah,
Um, but
and the
you
Chargers
know,
to a degree.
yeah, yeah, certainly. They just sort of got bullied in that game against the Chargers from the get-go. Um, it's just frustrating though because the situation's always the same.
Yeah.
The defense, whatever you want to say about them, they end up getting the stop. You get the ball, you have the opportunity to tie, to win, whatever you may be, and there's just nothing, no
No,
juice, no, never even like a couple first downs.
right.
It's always just like you get stuffed right away or it's a bad
Strip
turnover. There's
sack.
just
Yeah,
no,
it's brutal.
yeah, just nothing positive in those situations where like you're like, all right, one time, just even off of sheer dumb luck, you got to be able to pull a drive out of your ass, and
Right.
it's just a football team that can't do it right now. And that's why the people who say like there's something to be said for learning how to win.
Yes.
And maybe once they get that one, maybe it starts, they get that taste, it gets rolling a little bit, but until it happens, it's tough to watch them just implode every time they have an opportunity to win the game. Two more quick notes about Sunday. One, shouts out Tevin Jenkins. I'm
Yes.
pretty sure he was the number one ranked lineman in the
In the
NFL over
NFL.
the
Yeah.
weekend. That was pretty sweet. The guy's a beast when he's healthy. A lot of people passed on him because of those back concerns coming out of college. And typical like the college to pro transition, they think, oh, he's might not be a tackle, he might be a guard. How valuable will he be? Blah blah blah. That was a good pick by Ryan Pace, man. It really was one of the only good things he did, because that guy's a stud when he's on the field, and he's been a great add to that offensive line. The other thing, really quickly, Montez Sweat debut. A lot of people kind of chirping like, "What are we doing spending this money?" One, I think the contract's awesome. I think it's very team friendly. You're paying basically the same thing that Max Crosby got like 2 years ago.
Right.
And I get Crosby's a better player and gives you other things, but Montez Sweat's good, man. And
Hey,
it's not only the sacks, man. It's people are just like, oh well, he didn't get a sack, so this dude sucks. Like he's
hey,
playing with
don't
a bunch of nobodies.
don't discount the last. You said Crosby signed 2 years ago. Don't discount inflation in Joey Bicycles America too, man. Don't discount that. Max Crosby might be getting $50 million nowadays. But go ahead.
Hey man, no comment from me on all that. But yeah, no, I think he had a good debut. He only played like I think I heard like 40 some snaps or something like that. But yeah, I think it was a good start. He had some solid plays. I think that it's something that he'll build on as he knows the playbook a little bit more. You're playing defensive line. I mean,
Uh oh.
imagine some
Oh, there you are.
stunts here and there. What's
You
that?
you went mute for a second. You're back. You're back.
Oh, gotcha, gotcha. No, I was just saying, like, yeah, there's some stuff you need to know on the defensive line, some signals, some stunts, things like that. But get him out there, keep having him go after it. Hopefully, his snap count increases that much more tonight against the Panthers. I love the sign, and I'm really excited to see him kind of continue to grow in that role, and hopefully, bring sort of a nastiness culture to that defensive line, help those young guys along that we've been lacking for the better part of 2 years now. That said, I'll let you go ahead and add on if you have anything about Sweat specifically, or if you
No,
just want
I
to carry
agree. I
that.
agree with your. I agree with your two little last tidbits about Tevin and Sweat. I think those are two guys you could absolutely start building a winning team around. Sweat's more of an all-around defensive end, but he's already shown up in some pass rush last week, pushing the tackle back into the quarterback. And then Tevin, I mean, it makes you question like last week, if you're really like trying to be really critical of polls, it makes you really question the Edmonds signing and the Nate Davis signing when they're both out with injuries and Sanborn comes in. That position doesn't really drop off at all from Edmonds. And Tevin Jenkins goes back to right guard where he's more natural, and he has the best grade in all of the NFL. Like, it really makes you, if you're really trying to be critical of polls, what the fuck are you doing? Like, those are two guys that are playing well, and you're going and signing big money free agents at their same positions. Whatever. It is what it is. Let's go on to this week. Let's try not to kill the vibes. I want to keep them positive as we're short time here to game time. With your blessing, Jack, I'd like to get into my keys to a Bears victory. Oh, you're on mute again. Oh, there you are. There you are. There you
I wonder why that keeps happening.
I don't know. You're good.
Like you said, we got Carolina's pick.
Yeah.
Even the people who are, leaning towards the tank at this point in the season, 2-7. This is still a must-win game. Can't be letting Carolina get anywhere, drift anyway, further from the bottom of the pile. Got to take it to them. What are the keys to go out and get a victory tonight in game number 10?
All right, as I told you in the pre-show, what do they call it, fist fight on ESPN 1000 or something like that. I was telling you that I was gonna kind of be a little bit of a comedian with my picks tonight, but honestly, this is a game we got to win. We want to win, so I'm dead serious with my keys. I think you execute these three things, and we got a great chance to winning. So, with that being said. My first key to a Bears victory is similar to one of the keys you had against the Commanders, Jack. We need stellar interior defensive line play out of these guys this week. It's got to be the best since that Commanders game. If you remember correctly, Gervon Dexter really got after the quarterback that night, which was a nice surprise. But since then, Billings has gotten paid. Justin Jones continues to get snaps despite not showing me much of anything. That limits the development of the two rookie defensive tackles behind him. I don't necessarily agree with that philosophy, but whatever. That being said, the Week 10 offensive line power rankings from Pro Football Focus, which is my favorite site to refer to when analyzing professional football, has this Carolina Panthers offensive line unit at the 31st rank out of 32 in the NFL. Their tackles are kind of mid-tier. So if Montez Sweat doesn't have a huge game, don't go freaking out. But their interior defensive line is fucking terrible. Their guards and their center are bad. So we need our interior defensive line to collapse the pocket, create some interior pressure, stuff some of the run game, make them a one-dimensional team. And then on passing downs, they got to help create the pressure that maybe the edges can contain, collapse down, get a sack. Interior defensive line play has to be stellar tonight against one of the weakest units in the NFL.
Love that one. Right when you started talking about defensive line, that was my first thought, just about the fact that Carolina has such a weak offensive line. So you got to attack teams' weaknesses always. That's super important in any sort of matchup. You got to expose what they don't do well, and protecting the quarterback is something Carolina certainly does not do well. Your Justin Jones comment, like, I get it if you're thinking along the lines of, hey, let's play this guy. Maybe he pops. You move him at the deadline. The deadline's coming past. I get it if he's playing and you're like, okay, well, he's just good. Like, he's earned his keep. He does. I mean, I'm not a defensive line expert. Let's be real, but I don't think you need to know much about football to know that he's not doing much of anything on the field. So you just gotta get those rookies out there. I think get them snaps, get them more opportunities. That's the best way they're going to learn. You got to sort of be thrown into the fire. Hopefully, it's not like an indictment on them and what they're seeing in practice, and their coaches are just like, that worries me a little bit.
Same.
Like, maybe they're just not getting it, and that's a bigger problem. But yeah, I feel like there's times where I watch Dexter and I'm like, dude, he's solid. Get him out there, get him more snaps. I'd love to see those guys get a higher volume. But yeah, either way, hopefully week number 2, Sweat out there a little bit more of offenses having to account for him, key on him, open things up for the rest of that line. Go attack a bad Carolina offense. What do you got for key number 2?
Real quick on that last note, Gervon Dexter already is a better defensive tackle than Justin Jones. It's got to be a situation where, like, Eberflus or the defensive tackle coach or whoever the fuck it is somebody's got to like love Justin Jones, and that's why he's still getting all these snaps. And it's perplexing to me, other than like at a human level, like if that's their boy. But at the same point, like that's your job is to go try to develop a team and win some games. Get him the fuck off the field, please. Like rotate him in. You know, give the rookies a breather with him. He should not be dominating the snaps. All right,
Yeah,
on
and
to
he's not. You
yep.
can't. He can't be your boy. You guys have
No,
won 3 games in the past a year
exactly.
and a half, and you have had the worst defensive line in history. So, like, he's not providing
I
you
agree.
anything. Like, it's just I don't know. It's beyond
He's
frustrating to
he
watch.
came from he
Uh,
came from Indy though, and you see how Eberflus
yeah,
is with like his coaches. These guys are
yeah.
fucking perverts, and he won't even like throw them under the bus. So like maybe Eberflus is just like loyal to his own fault, but at this point, it's costing the Bears development of high draft picks. So all right, key number two. The Carolina defense is decimated by injuries. J.C. Horn, Jeremy Chin, Shaq Thompson, all on the injured reserve. This week, there's no Brian Burns, one of the top edge rushers in the NFL. Definitely one of the top edge rushers in free agency if he hits free agency. There's one guy on that Carolina defense, in my opinion, that still scares you a little bit. That's Frankie Louvu. Frankie Louvu, he's only got 5 sacks on the season, but that's probably more than anybody on the Bears. He's the one guy that still can scare you coming off the edge. The offensive tackles, do your job. When he's on your side, perk up a little bit, contain Frankie Louvu. Do not let him strip sack your young quarterback. Don't let him cause chaos in this game. It's one guy. He's not like incredible. It's not Brian Burns you're blocking here. Contain Frankie Louvu, and I think their defense is not going to be super scary.
I like that one. I think something that helps with that is just the fact that Bajent gets it out. Now, I don't know
Yes.
officially if Justin Fields is playing. I
Right.
know according to Eberflus, he was out, but he's doubtful that he's going to be maybe going to play. He was a 51%. We'll see what happens. 51% in or out. So there's a lot going on with that report yesterday about whether or not Fields is going to play. I haven't seen anything that he is, so I think he is out. It might be official by this point in time. We're only about 90 minutes out from
Yep.
kickoff. But I did see something this week where Bajent is like third in the NFL behind only Mahomes and someone else, some other top guy that would make sense, but only behind those two guys as far as like the advanced analytics and getting the ball out on time and that sort of thing. So that's very impressive. And I think that helps an offensive line as
Yeah,
far as
definitely.
worrying about a good pass rusher. But yeah, the thing is, those plays are like we talked about. Every time we get in those situations where games on the line, those negative plays just kill you, man. They absolutely kill you. Um, all year, it's been like even last week it was glaring, especially the penalties. I don't know why this team has so many penalties this year. It's despicable. But you get in those negative yardage situations, it's tough on any team, let alone a bad team. So you can't be taking any sacks that just shoots you in the foot, kills any drive. It's very difficult to overcome those. So yeah, key on the one guy they got, spray the ball out there, keep it moving. What do you got for key number three?
Key number three. So if you, I have a Carolina Panthers insider. Okay, I got sources all over the country, but I got one down in Carolina. On a short week this week, I wasn't able to watch all 22 of every game, so I just watched what I could. My Carolina insider. So if you look at the stats, you would think that Carolina's pass defense is actually pretty solid. You know, they're holding C.J. Stroud and some of the other top performing quarterbacks this year to some pretty low numbers. I think Kirk Cousins was held to a pretty low number. That might have been the game he got hurt, though, to be honest. But you would think the Carolina pass defense is pretty solid. He goes, my Carolina Panthers insider goes, no, no, no. It's not that. It's our run defense is so fucking bad that nobody has to throw the ball on us. So key number three is pound the fucking rock. Specifically to the right side. We got, as you said, Tevin Jenkins, a guy who is really coming into his own at offensive guard, particularly on the right side. And then we got Darnell Wright, a uber talented right tackle that really excels in the run game right now. Let's run to the right side behind those guys and let's pound the rock. Let's take advantage of a bad run defense. take pressure off a young quarterback, control the clock. Also, want to throw out a shout out to Mercedes Lewis. His old ass is still getting out there and blocking his ass off. So let's just put those three big dudes on the right. Let's run behind them. Let's control the game. I'm expecting a good game out of Dante Foreman going up against his old team. But Evans and Johnson provide some compliments to Foreman as well. Evans has been great. I'd like to see a little bit more out of Johnson. He came out week one and really got some people excited. Got that concussion. Obviously, that set him back a little bit. I'd like to see him maybe take a step, even if it's a baby step. I'd like to see him take a little bit of a step. I want to see that run game excel. That's key number three.
Yeah, Johnson's a he's a vicious runner, man. It's when he's going, it's he's not afraid out there. It's fun to watch him play. Yeah, I love that key just in the sense that the Bears this year they're sort of front runners, man. It's rare,
Yeah.
obviously, but the two wins that they have had have sort of been routes.
Yep.
So you get out, dominate that time of possession, control the clock, keep it moving, keep on the ground, keep picking up those positive chunk plays. The national narrative, the Bears' offensive line catches a lot of flack, and they're a pretty good run blocking offensive line. They really are. Going all the way back to last year, they were pretty good at it. So, and I know a lot of those stats are skewed because of what Fields was doing with his legs, but they can run block right up there with most mid to back end of that upper tier type teams.
For sure.
And when you're going against a team who can't stop it, you got to take advantage of it. So keep it on the ground, pound it up. I was a little disappointed Khalil Herbert isn't suiting up tonight, but it makes sense. You're on the short week coming off of just getting fresh with that activated to practice. They probably didn't really have any real
Yeah, they
practices
said
this
this
week.
week was all walkthroughs, so I could see that being
Yeah.
a reason
So he
why.
couldn't, yeah, I'm sure he couldn't like test it out too much. I don't know. But whatever. Give him another week and a half to get healthy. Hopefully him and Fields back together for sure for that Lions game up in Detroit in about 11 days. But yeah, no, you got to be able to run the ball against bad football teams and control the game that way. You got any score predictions for tonight? How you feeling? You think the Bears get a W?
I mean, from a betting perspective, I think the sharp side is actually Carolina. To be honest, I do. Um,
It's fluctuated around that key quite a bit. Like it keeps zipping from 3.5 to 3 and
I
whatnot.
think it's the smart side. Okay, I'm not betting that. I am betting the over. It's at 38. I'm betting that Carolina gives up the second most points in the league. Maybe part of that is Bryce Young turnovers. Maybe we get a turnover or two, give some short fields to our offense. We're probably liable for a turnover or two ourselves. I could see some points in this game, so I am on the over. Score prediction. Uh, I'm gonna bet the Bear, or I'm gonna pick the Bears in a win, but it's gonna be competitive. I'll go 24-21 Bears.
A little bit of a shootout. That'll be entertaining for a Thursday nighter. I think betting wise, I would guess I would like some of the over on the running backs just because like you
Yes,
said of how poor
I do
the
have some
rush
props.
defense
I definitely have
is.
some props laid. Yeah,
Yeah. I think I just kind of like the DJ Moore angle in a revenge game. You guys traded me away for Bryce Young, and he's the worst quarterback in the NFL. So, I think he's going to go out there and have a little bit of a message to send to his former team. I'm sure that Bajent and him will be. They might try to force feed him a little bit, which you should do with your number one receiver anyway. I wish the Bears would do more of that, to be honest. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think I like the Bears in this one. I think they're going to put up some numbers, man, against a defense that's just depleted at home, short week. I kind of like the Bears to score like 34 to
wow.
21, man. I could see it being high scoring. Um, but I sort of see him winning comfortably. I'm gonna go
The
34-21.
that's That would be impressive, and I love it. The three players I really like tonight, four players I like tonight for prop bets. Um, Keep in mind, if anything happened in the last 40 minutes or so, I don't know of any adjustments. It's 5:45 Central Time. I like on the Bear side. I like Dante Foreman. I feel that might be a little bit of a sucker bet, but I just think with Herbert out still and that Carolina run defense, I think he's gonna do well tonight. Um, I actually have an adjusted line. I'm taking him over 95 yards, and I know that's a lot of yards, but that's what I got him at. And then I like Bryce Young, Adam Thielen, and Jonathan Mingo, all their overs for yards. I don't know if that necessarily translates to points, but the Bears' pass defense hasn't been great this year. Adam Thielen for sure is a reliable target for Bryce Young. Bryce Young's over under for yardage is only 215 and a half. I think that's an easy over, to be honest. I still like the Bears. I'm going to be rooting them on, but I think those overs are good bets to be
Adam Thielen, man, noted bear killer over the course of the time that he spent in Minnesota.
laying.
But all right, man, we got
I got
to
two big parlays late, Jack. If they hit, I'm gonna be absolutely partying. Just so
just bankroll for days. Love it, love it. All right, Bears, got to take care of business tonight. Get that defensive line swarming. Montez Sweat, let that impact be felt. Interior guys got to give us something. Hopefully, we get some more play out of Pickens and Dexter. Get the rookies going a little bit.
you know. Yes.
On the offensive side of the ball, got to pound them. Running backs get up the field, control the clock, take advantage of that piss poor Carolina rush defense. And what was the third key or second key?
Uh, Block
Oh,
Frankie
don't
Lugu.
watch. Yeah, watch out for Frankie Lugu, baby. Frankie Luongo.
Shout out
Get
Mary
that
Catholic.
guy. Get that guy covered up. Take care of business. Bajan, keep getting it out, doing your thing. Got any last thoughts before we head off to a Bears victory Thursday?
No man, I think that's it. I think we got it covered. I like that over a lot for betting sides. You know what I said for the props. I'm going to be rooting for a Bears victory big. I am not on the Panthers, despite me saying I think that's a smart betting side. Never would bet against the Bears. Shout out the Bears for covering last week. I still can't believe that happened. But hit it
What a
for him.
cover.
Hit him for him
Yeah,
one
what a
time,
miracle
Jay.
cover. 2-7, man. We gotta win out. Run the table. Got to go nine.
It's
Got to go
possible.
8-0 the rest of the way to
It's
get to 10 and
possible.
7.
It
We
starts
know it's
tonight.
been coming all year. It's coming. Bajan, do your thing. Fields get back, and then we're rolling, baby. We're rolling on each week, 10 and 7. Then we'll worry about the playoff run.
Huh.
Mm, Bears.